How the devil are we doing, tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy Scribble. You know it makes sense. Today we are looking at the two Lightspeed bundles that are currently existing in the game. They've come back just in the nick of, you know it, time. So let's go ahead and take a look at them and see if they hold value. We're going to start off with the brand new Chewbacca Lightspeed bundle, and although it does say Chewbacca, I think calling it a Chewbacca Lightspeed bundle is probably selling it just a little bit short, because there is actually additional value that we can get out of this pack outside of the fact that yes, you could theoretically probably maybe use all these characters at Relic 5. Now the Chewbacca Legendary event simply calls for 5 7-star bounty hunters to get it done, and at the time of inception, when it first came out, the Chewbacca event was absolutely horrendous. And it had an intro video that you could never skip. So if you failed it, you were stuck watching like a 15 to 20 second intro every single time. It was mind-numbingly frustrating. Now, back then, during that Chewbacca event, I don't even think we had relic levels in the game. I think it was Gear 12 was the max. We didn't have the likes of Jango Fett, we didn't have Grief Karga and OG Mando or any of that business. So in the current day, the modern day of bounty hunters, that event is so much easier. So yes, I feel like you could totally get it done with these characters, even if they are not maybe the most ideal bounty hunters to use. Before we actually begin and take a look at the actual characters involved, let's go up front and say the cost right about now. Now, I can only tell you what the cost is in GBP, but maybe you can adapt that to your local currency. In my currency, it is $25. $24.99 for what is essentially, 7 characters at Relic 5. Is this valuable? Well, if you compare it to the cost of what it would take for you to get these characters up, to get all the Kyrotech involved, to get all the signal data, the relic data that you need, I'm talking, your carbonite circuit boards, your bronzium wirings, and era magnifiers, and all that sort of business, this is an absolute steal. Even at like $30-40, even probably more than that, it's still good value, but I don't want to just leave it there as, oh, the actual value of this is X or Y, because there is a little bit more nuance to that, both on the side of it depends on where you are in the game and how much value you get out the particular characters, but also how much do you value £25 or $25 or $30, whatever it happens to be in your currency, because that's always going to differ from people to people. But yes, getting 7 characters up to Relic 5 from scratch, or even if you've got a bunch at like Gear 12 or even at Gear 11, Gear 8, 3 stars, all that business, this is good value at $25. I would point out, in particular, there are some really good characters. Fennec Shand is phenomenal, also a Lord Vader requirement. Really, really strong unit. Jango Fett is also a Relic 7 requirement, I want to say. Maybe Relic 8 requirement. Phenomenal unit for JMK. I want to say really, really powerful. Embo, great in a Hutt Cartel team, absolutely phenomenal. Dengar just got the Punishing One ship, really, really strong bounty hunter in general, has got a new Datacron as well. Zam Wessel has got a GAC Omicron, super useful there. Cad Bane, I believe Cad Bane is a requirement for the Executor at Relic 5s, and then you've got Aura Singh, who is actually quite a useful bounty hunter for a super fast contract. Now, I wouldn't say these are top tier bounty hunters across the board. They're really not, but they're decent enough in all of their respects, and they dip into many different legendaries. Aura Singh and Fennec are both Jabba the Hutt requirements, for example. I think Aura is actually like a Relic 6 requirement, and I think Fennec might be Relic 7. Not entirely sure on that, but they're both required nonetheless. And Embo is actually a great slot in for Jabba as the 5th, which the 5th slot is a little bit flexible on his team, but Embo's got a great Territory War Omicron. I know not everybody likes that, but really solid Territory War Omicron, and generally useful all in a Jabba the Hutt team. So we've already got 3 out of 7 of these requirements that just go very well with Jabba the Hutt alone. Embo and Zam are both requirements for Lord Vader. I believe Embo might be a Relic 7 requirement, but I'm pretty sure Zam is only Relic 5, so you're already set there. So it just kind of, like, it slowly but surely tries to push you towards a couple of Galactic Legends and some other legendaries, like I was talking about the Executor, with Cad Bane being required, and of course the Punishing One being Dengar's ship and all that. So yes, this is incredibly valuable. Even if you have got some of these characters already reliced up, I still feel like $25 is a really good price point to get in. Now this is really just, I want to draw this back out again, this is really down to how much disposable income you actually have and how much value you place on $25. But to me, this is good value, and people should probably strongly consider taking this up because, like I said, Executor, Lord Vader, Jabba the Hutt, all of these guys are getting a nice big boost on top of there. Like, who even cares about getting Chewbacca at this point? Because these characters just let you jump the queue for later legendaries. Next up then is we have the return of the Night Sister Lightspeed Bundle. This one gives you almost every single Night Sister. It doesn't give you the new ones, of course, so you won't be getting stuff like Great Mothers. There's no surprise there. You don't get Death Trooper Peridea, you don't get Night Trooper, you don't get Merrin either. So I think it's missing 4 Night Sisters all in all. However, even at Relic 3, you are still getting, what, 7 or 8 characters here? 8, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count. Booyah. 8 characters here at Relic 3, and the beauty of this is it's only $15, so it's $10 cheaper than the previous one. Now, of course, these Night Sisters do not work you towards a legendary unit, but they do help towards getting things like assault battles done. They do help just round out your Night Sister teams because, you know, the Great Mothers are fantastic, and they do use stuff like Spirit. They do use stuff like potentially Asajj and potentially Acolyte. So there's still value there. And it gets you a starting point to start working on that assault battle, gets you a starting point to start working towards potentially Relic 7 and doing that combat mission on Dathomir in Rise of the Empire TB. Now, these guys do have a lot of very, very useful Omicrons. Asajj has got a useful GAC Omicron. I think Merrin does as well, but of course she's not in this pack. But all I'm trying to say is, for $15, you get yourself 8 relic characters. Just saving on the Kyrotech and the signal data and the relic materials alone is more than worthwhile trying to invest just $15. You will not get anything in this game anywhere close to that sort of value outside of other Lightspeed bundles and potentially stuff like the Ascension packs that come around. It is kind of nutty, ladies and gentlemen. I do recommend anybody that has a spare $15 and needs some Night Sisters to invest in this because it is just so incredibly useful. Another thing that I would like to note on this one is I'm still theorizing that the next raid that we get is going to be on Peridea and Night Sisters will be a faction. Now, not necessarily meaning, you know, we'll be able to use Old Dakar and Mother Talzin, but you might need some of these other characters. You might need some of them to come into play here and start working with the Great Mothers, for example. Now, that is complete and pure speculation. We've got nothing to suggest that it is. I'm just kind of reading the tea leaves, as it were, and it seems to just make sense. So if you don't have the Night Sisters, I do recommend you go for this one. One last little bonus thing I will talk about is the new Ability Ascension 2 that is coming out. I think it's some point today. It might be later on. I haven't seen it in my store just yet. I think it's only on mobile as well. But these Ascension packs are like tiered packs. We've had one for like Cantina and Signal Data and all that sort of thing. And you've got different stages. You know, if you purchase a small amount, like you can see the $2 one here, and it will unlock a couple of free tiers and all that sort of thing. I want to bring this one up because this one is quite interesting, but only really if you're interested in getting a lot of Zetas and Omicron mats, because the value is pretty good. So you can start off, you see you've got the first free tier here, you get 100,000 gold and some ability materials that's kind of trash, to be honest. You pay $2 and you get 3 Omegas and 10 purple ability mats. It's like, who cares about that? But it does then give you a free Zeta mat and 15 of the tier 3 ability materials and 200,000 credits. It's like, for $2, I'm not sure if I value one Zeta piece at $2. So let's see how it goes on, because it does develop further. After you've paid that $2, you still get a few additional tiers. You can see you've got another 2 Zeta mats there and more Omicrons and more purple ability materials. Now, to someone like me and anybody that's been playing the game a long time, the Omega mats and the purple material mats are not really going to be a bottleneck. I have literally got thousands of those purple ones. The Omega mats, granted, I've maybe got about 400, but I'm never in need of them. But there you go. You see you've actually gone up from 1 to 3 Zeta mats with no additional cost. This is where it starts to get a little bit more pricey, but still something to consider. You pay an additional $5 and you're going to get 7 Omega mats. Absolute trash. Garbage. I only recommend people go to this $4 if they are looking to go all of the way. Okay? And unfortunately, that does mean going all the way up and paying an extra $30. That is a lot of money. We've already dropped, what was it, $2, I believe. So $2 on top of $5, you get $7, and then $10, and then $20. You know, we're talking like essentially nearly $30 here. Sorry, nearly $40. So what are you getting in total for about 40 bucks? Well, you're looking at 22 Omicrons, essentially 30 Zeta mats. Now, I know it's a lot of money and it's only really geared more towards whaling at this point, but if you are looking for additional Omicron mats, this is actually pretty decent value, and you get a big chunk of Zetas as well. So something to consider for those of you that are a little bit higher on the old spending scale. Not necessarily something that I would do with Balin and Ezra both coming out at the same time. That's a lot of Omicrons that they're going to want to eat themselves. I'm considering something like this, but I haven't been completely sold just yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that is going to about do it for today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you swing by in just a couple of hours. We are going to be unlocking Balin's Skull live for the very first time. I will see you all. Peace out, big love, and may the Force be with you.